Thomas James takes his first bite of freedom. More than 30 years ago, at the age of 23, he was wrongly convicted of murder. 30 years later, he walked out a free man.
If it weren't so many people looking, I probably just fainted, but I couldn't do that. I'd have let too many people down. But yeah, it did. It actually hit me emotionally because I realized that it was actually happening.
Here's a timeline of events in this case. Francis McKinnon was murdered in his Coconut Grove apartment back on January 17th of 1990. A few days later, Dorothy Walton picks Thomas out of a lineup.
Thomas James is officially arrested on July 19th of that year. At that time, he's already in custody for an unrelated offense. Less than a year later, he's convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison.
After several denied appeals and attempts by the Justice Project, that sole witness writes a sworn statement recanting her earlier testimony. 2 weeks later, more than 30 years after his arrest, Thomas James is free.
That the credibility of our criminal justice system depends on the unwavering commitment for this search of truth. And in doing so, a good prosecutor best serves their community while at the same time serving the ideals of justice. Today, we are fulfilling that responsibility with regards to Thomas Raynard James. We are going to undo what is a wrongful conviction of an innocent man.
And tonight we have team coverage on this story, including the pain of the victim's family and what's next for the case.
Let's begin, though, with CBS 4's Bobeth Yates, who was with James on his first day of freedom.
My incipient thought was, it's about time.
Thomas Raynard James walked into his home for the first time in 32 years after sitting behind bars for a crime he did not commit. Back in 1991, James was found guilty for the Coconut Grove robbery and shooting death of Francis McKinnon. And after 3 decades in prison, the prosecutors asked the court to throw out the conviction, and they agreed.
They have a conviction review unit that reviewed convictions that they believe may have had any type of error in it. So this is the first time with this specific justice project that they have exonerated someone.
James is now the first person in Dade County to be exonerated for murder. And the first thing he wanted to do after being released was get some good Southern cooking.
Yeah, it's definitely good.
James, his family, and friends sat down for their first meal in more than 3 decades at Yardbird in Miami Beach. And those in his circle say they're still in disbelief that this day finally became a reality.
I have a son and a daughter. They're 29 and 32, and they don't know their uncle, you know, because he's been in jail their entire life. And so this is finally an opportunity for them to have him be a part of their life.
But I feel good that he's out here and being with me.
And as James blows out candles to celebrate the birthdays he's missed, he says he now has a bigger drive to help those wrongfully incarcerated.
It's not just trying to solve a crime or seek justice. They just looking for a conviction. And that shouldn't be the objective or the goal.
And while James embarks on his next mission, those closest to him say they're just happy he's home.
I love you, Junior.
I love you too, baby.
I love you.